I just want to show you the kittens. Can you bring me a kitten?
Yeah.
This is Apollo.
The boy.
They're so cute when they're so little.
And the girl has a spot on her head. The girl.
Mwah. So fuzzy. So they're bringing us a lot of happiness and joy right now, which
I think
we
the girl
need.
ran.
You want to go play with your sister? All right. Go play. Those little bells tinkling. That's them, so that we can easily find them. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. They're so good. They're so happy. They just purr, and oh my goodness, they've adapted very easily. All right, I'm gonna get started.
Okay.
You can leave them, or you can take them out. Hi, I'm Madeline. Welcome to my channel. I'm the owner of Basswood Beauty, which is just a small, like, sort of cosmetics company that I run out of my home. I mainly make tinted lip balms, and on this channel I just want to share all things beauty related and small business content. But we've had some pretty big changes in our lives recently. So my last video was June 12th, which was after like this big thing that just totally changed our lives. And so I did do a video after that, but then I didn't do one for this month or any for this month because there was just so much change going on in our lives. And but I kind of wanted to share a little life update and do a little get ready with me. I'm doing extremely simple, minimal makeup. That's all I have time for or like want to do right now. But I still love putting a little bit of makeup on, fixing these dark under eye circles, and just feeling more awake and giving myself a little bit of time. And then I also wanted to talk about some of the books I read in the month of... it is past the time that I would normally get ready, but my skin is prepped. I have sunscreen on, and I washed my face this morning, and I have just been going in with, I don't know how much I'll talk about the products. Actually, I know this is one of my Project Pan items, and the Flower Beauty Concealer. And every time I pull it out, I'm not actually getting that much product on here, so I'm thinking I might have to take the stopper out. Sometimes I get a good dollop, but then sometimes I get like barely anything. But this is all I've been using as well. Make sure you can see me. I've just been taking it down the center of my face and my under eyes. I'm actually not, or have not been putting anything on the rest of my face. And then I just blend it out with a dry sponge. I'm really interesting with my makeup lately. Not. So yeah, at the end of May, we have two girls, and one's 11 and one is 7, and my older one was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and I didn't know anything about it, but it is completely life altering, and you know, it's a disease that she'll deal with the rest of her life, which is just really hard to like wrap my head around at this point still, because we're only about 2 months in, the end of May, June, July. So I'm shocked at how far we have come with just her health care, and the technology surrounding type 1 diabetes is pretty darn incredible. They have monitors that monitor your blood sugar, and they also have pumps that will pump the insulin in for you, because type 1 diabetes involves several shots a day for everything that you eat, basically. And for an 11-year-old, I mean, it just, she's going through puberty, and it just, it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's painful to watch, and painful to give her shots, and I mean, the whole thing is just extremely difficult. So needless to say, I just have put a lot of things on the back burner because we've been in and out of the hospital. I would like to share more about like diabetes awareness, and just sharing like some more of her story, but she doesn't really want, I don't think she's at the point to share, and I'm not going to force her to like get on camera or anything like that. But maybe I can get on here and just share a little bit if you're interested, of just our experience and her story, because we found out by her getting DKA, which is the worst that you can experience with high blood sugar. And then 3 weeks later, she had a seizure and was back in the hospital because of an extreme low. And that's the worst that you can experience with the low blood sugar. So yeah, I'd be happy to like do a video on like what is type 1 diabetes, and if you have questions, because I didn't know anything about it, and I'm finding a lot of people don't know a lot about it. So okay, I'm going to do a little bit of, no, I'm gonna finish what I'm doing. I do like to go in with a little bit of Jane Iredale, with the Real Techniques powder sponge under my eyes, just to kind of set that concealer. And then I think I'm gonna take some on the rest of my face today. It's a hot day and I just kind of want to do a little bit of extra coverage. But yeah, I haven't really been reaching for all of my Project Pan items, and I mean all of that. We had long stays in the hospital with all of this, and then we had vacation, and then on top of it my grandma passed away, and that was a big deal, because the family is huge and it directly affected my parents, and just because they were one of her main caretakers, and we're all very close. So that was a lot, and that has all happened in the last 2 months. So we definitely needed that little bit of like joy with getting the kittens. So and then I've just needed to like I don't know, I have been enjoying listening to books, and I found a few that I really enjoyed. I think I found the one that I really liked through Shauna Rapari, I think is how you say her last name, and she's here on YouTube, so I'll link her below as well. But yeah, so yeah, the book that or the series that I liked that she suggested was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. They're very fun, they're very exciting, they're very like fast paced, and I took my stopper out of this what's it called, Coulorpop lipstick finally, because I use it like every day for my blush. I think that was a lot. So I've just been putting a little bit of that on, and then I'm still trying to use up this like illuminating primer. I don't know if anything will come out, but I've just been kind of, yeah, I think it's time to open it. But I was just dotting it on and making a glowy blush, but I don't think it really wants to come out this time. Maybe I'll go open it. I love cutting like products open, because I mean there is just still so much in there, and then I just put it in like a little Ziploc bag and it lasts forever. As I was saying, these books by Stephanie Garber are really fun reads. They are not, I think, the highest quality of writing at all, but they're very entertaining and fast-paced, and like exciting adventure, sort of mystery and romance. It's a make-believe world without like too much craziness in it. Like, it's not too fantasy driven, I don't feel like. But the series that I started was Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. And then there's a third book coming out. And so I was a little lost with like the world and the characters she was talking about, because she had a series before this one, which I didn't really realize had so much to do with this one. Like a lot of the characters are repeated and come back. So I did start listening to, which I will talk more about next month, but the other series, and that's adding more to this one. And I'm like, now I want to go back and re-listen to those ones. So I did listen to them. I forget the narrator's name. I will find that out because she is amazing, and I actually want to listen. If you listen to books, it does open up like a world of like more books, because if you like that reader, you can see what else they've read, and so I really like her, and I want to follow her and see what other books she's done, and probably listen to those ones too, because I just love listening to her. Like, she really draws you in, even though the writing isn't that amazing. The reason I keep picking on her writing is that she just repeats so many like descriptions, and her descriptions just don't make a lot of sense to me. She relates a lot of things to like colors or smells, but smells to things that like to me just don't really have a smell, or maybe they have a smell, but I don't know, it doesn't translate to me very well, her descriptions. And then she just kept using the same description over and over. Even in her next series is stars. She uses stars for everything, and I think it's because she's created this fantasy world, and stars is just like her theme for all of her stuff. But she would talk about like falling stars, breaking stars. I'll have to find like some, like write down some of the descriptions at some point and ask you if you think it makes sense. But I really enjoyed that, like just her character's thought process, like thinking things out. I kind of enjoyed that. And then I like that the character always does what you want them to do, but usually in books they don't do that. Like they come to like a cross in the roads, and they usually have them go the other way, so that, how do I describe this? I don't know, like they just never make the character do what you want them to do, and she's just always like, nope, the character's gonna do exactly what the reader is like wanting them to do, even though the outcome isn't gonna be, she's not gonna make the outcome like super predictable, I guess. Like you're still wondering what will happen, but the character's gonna make the choice that you want them to make. So I like that about it, and I think that's what like kept me reading them and listening to them. Anyways, I think I said enough about those books. I'm going to put a little bit of eye primer on, because if I don't, my any eyeshadow I put on just creases immediately. Other book that author that I have been kind of going through all of her historical fiction books. She has some more modern books, but I'm not crazy about modern books all the time. They're just not my first choice. So is Stephanie Grace Whitson. I believe that's how you say her name. And it was The Key on the Quilt, which is another series, but each book is a totally different story. And this one was just, I don't know. Oh, I said I read it in 2 days. I make notes on all. I was sick in bed, but I mean, the book just totally drew me in, and I just thought it was really good. I really liked that one and one of her other books, which I could link below. It was the first one I read, and I was like totally hooked. I'm like, I gotta read more of her books. But these are the only two that I've like absolutely been like, I would totally recommend these to someone. A lot of her other ones are just kind of like bedside, nighttime, like simple reads. I don't know. I listened to one, no, there was one other one that I really liked I listened to. I was saying the narrator of the one series I didn't love. I just didn't like the narrator. I'm like, I probably would have sort of enjoyed the books. They were okay. Anyways, I can't say that I love all of her books, but this one was very good. Oh my gosh, another really fun one that I read was A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting by Sophie Irwin. That was very funny. It's a Jane Austen fan fiction type of book, and it was very sweet. I put that I didn't really like Kitty at first, the main character, but she grew on me, and it was fun. I mean, it was very predictable and just an easy, fun read, which that's kind of like what I'm reaching for right now because I can't handle anything else at the moment. I'm gonna just go in with a little bit of eyeshadow to set that primer. This is actually a Moody Sisters eyeshadow. I don't know if they still make this color. They kind of changed their colors. It's in Leia. It's just like a nice purpley taupey color. With my girls, I read to them and I listen to books with them, especially with homeschooling. Now I'm going in with Jane Iredale. I don't remember the name of this eyeshadow, but it is a great everyday. And I just like to put it on with my finger. The Little House on the Prairie books. And we got through a few of them. We've listened to them before. The narrator on those, Cherry Jones, is incredible. But it was very funny, and the reason I'm bringing these ones up is just because my girls were like, no more, because there was a story. Laura gets a doll, and a little girl comes over. She had a doll. She wasn't playing with it anymore. She was too old for it. But she gave it to this little toddler that came over, and the mom was like, just let her take it home with her. And Laura was brokenhearted, and she's like, no, I was just letting her play with it. I didn't want her to take it home with her. And then later she goes to their house and finds it in the mud, and she steals it back. And the mom was like, oh, that's fine. And the mom fixed it up and everything. And so it had a very happy ending and resolution. But my girls were just like, we can't believe the mom did that. Why would the mom do that? And I was like, well, now that I'm a mom, I can see the mom's perspective, of why she was just like, oh, you don't play with dolls anymore. Let her have the dolls. But it was mortifying for my girls. And they were like, we don't want to listen to these books anymore. Like, okay, wow, all right. So we're taking a break on those. I'm actually going to do my brows. And I've been setting them with Covergirl Lash and Brow Serum, but I like it because it holds my lashes all day long. It's just like a clear gel on them, and then I do use it at night on my lashes and my eyebrows. But because I just have been doing the most simple, that's all I do. No tinted, no pencil. And then I'm just going to use the CoverGirl Lash Blast Clean mascara, actually in the black brown color. I was just thinking as I was putting my mascara on that I'm like, mascara is my love language to myself. I always feel so much more awake and vibrant and just ready for the day when I put it on. So anyways, the book that I loved the most was The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. She wrote I don't remember the name of the books. Something about the Cruel Prince series that was very popular. So this is sort of a continuation of those books. It's the same world, but I just loved the characters. I loved the arc of Ren, and I loved her description. I didn't think anything was cheesy or overdone or cringy, because it is sort of romance, but it's also mystery and adventure and all that. But yeah, nothing was just ugh, I don't know, cringy, teenagery. I don't know. She just did a really good job with her descriptions. I liked this way more than the Cruel Prince, even though I was like totally drawn into that. Like once was done with that series, I was like, yeah, like I have not reread it or re-listened to it or anything. I don't know that it's one that I would go back to because there were so many parts that I just didn't enjoy. And the character and everything. But this one, I just loved it. There were a few slow parts, but they were important to the story, but they were just a little bit slow. And then the only critique I have with like all of Holly Black's books that I've read, because I've read quite a few of them, is that her men are like pristinely perfect. Maybe not their character. They might have some character flaws, but as far as their looks, they're perfect looking and there's nothing ever wrong with them, but the girls are always getting scars, cuts, stabbed, wounds. They're not perfect looking, which I love, but I'm like, why are the men so like perfect? Okay, I don't know. That's just a little side note that I noticed as I read her books. And then, let's see, just 3 more quick ones, and I'm going to put on my lip gloss. I really dislike this little Ilia mini and Only You balmy lip gloss or something because it's just a messy disaster. And it feels wonderful, and I do want to use it up, but it's kind of gross. It like literally leaks out and drips down the container. So I wouldn't buy it in a full size if it does the same thing. I don't know if you can see it like coming out of the edge there. And then I love it and it's pretty and I like this color, but it like sits on top of my lips, which I don't love. So the color like just, it just needs a little bit of tweaking is all to the formula. But mainly I've been using my Sweet Refreshments, which is just about gone and looks disgusting. So just to wrap it up, the last 3 books I read was The Diary of a Wimpy Kid because I absolutely love the films and I just think they're hilarious. And the book was exactly like the movie and it was super funny and I enjoyed reading it before bed, just as a nice like light book. But I just read the first one. I have the second one, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I finished Hinds' Feet on High Places by Hannah Hurnard. And then it was with a combinational like devotional with Darien Cooper. This was like maybe the 2nd or 3rd time I've read this book and I love it. It met me exactly where I'm at in life right now. It's very encouraging. It's an allegory of just like your Christian walk with the Lord, and I really like it with the devotional. I would recommend it with the devotional. And then I read or listened to The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. This was a struggle for me, and I think it's just because it like dealt with like a lot of harder topics and stuff that I was like, oh, I don't really want to listen to right now. It's a historical fiction, which I do enjoy, but I think just like right now in my life, I just want more light-hearted things or books, just easier, or like more fantasy, not historical. I'm living a real life right now, like a really hard real life right now, so I don't really want to listen to, you know, other people's hard stories right now. I have enough difficulty in my life at the moment. So it took me like 5 times to try and start like listening to this book, and then finally I was just like, I really do want to finish it. I want to know the story, and it was very interesting. And I would definitely recommend it. It was about a period of history in Spain. And it was good. I do recommend it. I highly recommend it. I don't know. I didn't no, I enjoyed the story, and though it had a good ending, the ending was extremely, like, unrealistic. And it was like, oh, yay, I'm happy it had a happy ending, but I'm like, that would never happen in real life. At least I don't think it would. So, yeah, it was a little, like, real, all the way through until the very ending. You're like, that wouldn't probably really happen, you know? And so you're kind of like, it just ruined all of the rawness of the whole book and story that she had created, and then had like sort of this fantasy ending. So those are my thoughts, and thank you for getting ready with me. I feel ready for the day. Thank you for listening to me chatter on and on and on. I just kind of wanted to do something fun and lighthearted. I kind of want to try to do this once a month just to share the books that I've been enjoying, because it brings me joy, and I kind of need a little bit of reprieve from what's going on in my life right now. So thank you, and I really appreciate you spending time with me.